Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. And today I am walking to Old Montreal from Barrie-UQAM metro station. And there's a nice chateau there in the distance. Yeah, and here I am around these heritage blocks in Old Montreal. I'm outside this cafe. It's my first time here and I love exploring the cafes in Montreal. It's called Cafe Mère Grande, or like Grandma Cafe. And here I'm walking in. Yeah, and the inside is pretty cozy. It's like someone's home. And here's the barista's area. Yeah, and it looks like they have very nice pastry items. Yeah, so the inside here really looks like an old-fashioned cottage home. Yeah, and just walking to the dining area, it's very quiet. And I really like this little Red Riding Hood mural on the wall painted by a local artist. And yeah, so I ordered a grilled cheese sandwich and an iced coffee, and I did a quick sketch with ink. And then I painted watercolors, and so in total it took me about 15 minutes to do the ink and watercolors. So after eating, I want to do a sketch of the little interior space in front of me. So I just use pencil to do a quick layout just in case I'm not drawing way too big and fit in all the things that I want to include. Yeah, so now I am drawing these three very important lines. So 1, 2, and 3 that defines the three walls of this interior. The ceiling on top, the wall on the left, and the wall on the right. And against the right wall, there is this top part of the bench with two cushions. As you can see, the cushion further away from me in the corner looks smaller. This cushion in the front, close to me, it looks larger. And this is the basic sense of distance and perspective. And drawing this little table there around the corner. And the old vintage chairs. Yeah, just one chair there. And there's another table close to the wall. And another chair. Yeah, these chairs are pretty interesting to draw. Yeah, so the whole environment in here, the tables and chairs, everything is very nostalgic. And yeah, so I just drew the chairs and the round tables. And here they have a window in the back, drawing the window frame. So do you know the window frame area is actually three-dimensional? The wall is like having a slab of prism, very thin prism carved out from it. And that's how we see the window frames, right? It's like an inward prism. And yeah, so that's the window area. Underneath the window, we have some books on the windowsill. And there's like a photograph framed on the wall over here. I think it's a night scenery in a city. Yeah, so these benches, so these lines on the benches are actually pointing upwards into a vanishing point in the middle of the wall there. And above the bench, they have these dried florals, leaves and flowers. Yeah, very nice. It really looks like a country home. Yeah, so I'm just taking my time to draw the dried stalks and the leaves and the flower heads. So kind of just like quickly summarizing what I see because there's like thousands of details there. Yeah. So I'm not actually drawing every single stalk and leaf and flower, just like quickly summarizing my impression. All right, so just like that, kind of capture the spirit of these plant forms using very loose and a bit of squiggly lines. Yeah, and I think that's done for that part. I just added a little bit of accentuation for the wooden plank of the bench there. And now I think I'm ready to draw the mural. There's actually a lot of details. So drawing the square bracket first. Again, these lines are following the rule of the one-point perspective. A lot of these lines are pointing downwards into the vanishing point in the middle of that window. And yeah, drawing very loosely because this is a painting done on a brick wall. The artist actually is very good. I think he used very flexible techniques to kind of preserve some of the look of the brick wall too, and not just covering every single brick with paint. Yeah, drawing a little Red Riding Hood here. Yeah, and now I am ready to draw these horizontal lines of the brick. Again, these lines are also pointing towards the vanishing point somewhere in the middle of that window in the back. Yeah. And these short vertical lines in between each brick. So when drawing a brick wall, so don't worry, we can't really capture every single brick that's on the wall. Just relax and just try your best to get a pattern in. It's very easy to draw brick patterns. Okay, and that adds some more around the square mural. Very quickly drawn. Those horizontal and then vertical lines. Yeah, and drawing the floorboard, which also gives a sense of perspective. All of these lines of the floor is pointing towards the vanishing point there too. And drawing in between the wooden planks of the bench, the brick pattern as well. Okay, so now I just want to add a bit of extra lines outside the window to suggest the buildings on the other side of the street. Just very simply done. And that's it for the line drawing. And now I am ready to breathe life into this sketch with watercolor washes. So just wetting the back wall area with clear water and adding this bit of lime green with a tiny bit of lemon yellow. Yeah, this really nice and soothing, mellow green yellow color. Yeah, and wetting that area as well. So wetting areas on paper first before adding color is actually a nice way to make the paint flow very loosely on it. And the orange yellow for the floor. So as you can see, I'm really taking advantage of the leftover color area on my palette. So this is a really kind of like a subtle mix of orange and brown for the cushions. And also use like a nice brush strokes to kind of skip around to leave some highlights on the cushion there. And I just painted the window frame with that vintage dark shade of green left over in my palette. And loosely punching in the colors for the brick wall there. Yeah, just use leftover mix of orange and burnt sienna in that area, and pretty watery. The first layer I'm keeping everything light and watery, so it's easier to show contrast later with more intense colors on top. Yeah, so using leftover colors is so handy to paint those tiny areas without grabbing colors and spending time mixing it. Yeah, just there, the leftover grays for the picture frame and some of the objects behind those tables and chairs. Yeah, so first layer was done. Now I'm adding on the second layer, more juicy colors and more vibrancy. So this is like a mix of red and a little bit of orange, containing less water compared to the first layer. I just painted Little Red Riding Hood's outfit and that banner above her head. Yeah, just another wash on top of it, just so it's more vibrant. And also I left gaps in between each brick, just so there's more sense of relief. So when painting bricks, it's a nice idea to leave little gaps above and below in between each brick pieces. So they look more three-dimensional, they look more like, pops up from the wall. Yeah, and as you can see, I am not painting every single brick. I'm leaving some areas from the first layer because some of those bricks have a lighter tint of orange-brown. Yeah, kind of skipping around as well. So this area, Inside the mural is mostly like a light color, very much diluted browns. And because these brick pieces are so small, I am just using little quick dashes to show the relief of the bricks. Yeah, and don't forget to paint these bricks in between the wooden planks of the bench. It's a nice negative space behind the bench. And just kind of play around with the different tones of browns. Some brown is more of a raw umber color and not burnt sienna and red. So yeah. And these warm colors of browns and oranges are actually very soothing to look at and to paint. And just using leftover gray, a mix of blue, magenta, and a tiny bit of green in that area for the tabletop, nice and light. Add a little bit of shade for the folds on the cushions, using the leftover purple right there. Yeah, so I just put on a little bit of violet and royal purple for some of those flowers there, and also cadmium yellow for these flowers standing up high. Yeah, and some more punches of violet. Yeah, I think these are dried violets. Yeah, and just use a bit of leftover gray that I mixed with blue, magenta, and green to paint in these shadow areas here and there as I observe. And also there's a little bit of reflective shadow on these tables. Yeah. And same for these chairs. I use leftover brown. Yeah, and just adding another layer of more like stronger brown containing less water. So these chairs can pop up a little better. Adding like a nice patch of shade around the end of the floorboard close to the wall there, because I think there's the cast shadow from the wall. Yeah, just be brave about that to give more contrast and drama. Yeah, so sometimes the little spaces like over there in the corner, it matters. It gives a sense of a drama and transition with the transition of colors, and just adding just a little bit more contrast around the window frame and colors for the photo. Inside the picture frame, it's a night scenery, it's a lot of blue and dark purple colors. And also the little shadow underneath the picture frame. So it kind of pops from the wall. Yeah, just adding a bit of warm glow for the light on the ceiling over there. I think the luminosity there is pretty important to give this interior scenery a bit more life. And just adding a little bit of shade around the wall, especially around the border of the ceiling and the wall there. A little bit cast shadow from the dried plants. And quickly painting the colors that I see outside. This is super abstract and impressionistic, that yellow glow of the building on the other side. And grabbing a little of lime green mixed with lemon yellow for that little tree glowing under the sunshine outside on the other side of the street. Just use little choppy brush strokes to show the feel of foliages. A little bit contrast with darker tones of green, mostly leftover colors in my palette. And now I want to paint the tabletop. It has a pretty interesting marble pattern, as you can see around my sketchbook. The grayish abstract flowing streaks of gray. So just adding that with the thin brush strokes of my brush tip. And a little bit more contrast for the floor, for the wooden floor there, with the darker tone of brown. Yeah. Little shadow underneath my iced coffee cup and underneath the dish. Final polish here and there. That's it. And now for the right side of my sketchbook page, before I go home, I want to sketch the staircase leading up to the blue door up there. So one of the things I love about Montreal architecture is the stairs leading into an interesting door. So first of all, I'm drawing this foreground element, the tree on the left-hand side first. I'm just drawing the thin trunk and the twigs. And then I am drawing this door in the middle. Upstairs, there's like a little balcony in a prism shape. And then the left and right handlebars of the staircase. And then these horizontal lines of stairs, the door frame, again, it's like a prism carved out from the house. And adding the inner details, the frames for the door, those simple little rectangular shapes with a little bit depth, and these foreshortened lines of the staircase railings. Yeah, so a lot of area of this side view of the house is being covered by the trees, and there's just a little bit of balcony railing visible up there, and with the balcony door behind the railings, adding a little bit more twigs, and there's actually a window behind all of these foliages. I'm not drawing the leaves, I'm just gonna paint the leaves quickly with brush strokes, and adding some more branches and twigs for this tree. A little bit more, nice and loose. Adding some very quick horizontal lines for the exterior brick texture, and finishing these horizontal lines of staircase. Yeah, there's another window on the lower floor, and some more brick textures. Yeah, just keeping this drawing and all of these details pretty quick and loose. I'm not drawing a frame around it, so it's gonna have a really loose and open-ended loose frame with the help of the paint later. And now I am drawing the name of the cafe I'm in right now, Chez Mère Grande, Grandma's Place. And now I'm ready to add watercolors. I think they're closing pretty soon, in about 15 minutes. So I had to hurry up a little bit, but not rushing it. So first layer is always the lightest and warmest color. So this is like a blend of medium yellow and orange. A little bit gradients over there. Wet into wet. So the surfaces of everything in the world is very rarely just like a single flat color. Okay, so as you can see, the exterior of this building is like a nice blend of yellow and orange, probably like with more tones of browns and dark browns. Okay, so there, if we look very deeply, we can see so many colors blending together in a seemingly flat surface. And now I'm just adding this kind of vintage blue. It's kind of like a turquoise blue mixed with a little bit cobalt blue. Just kind of mixing this blue from my intuition. Yeah, leaving a little spots or streaks of highlight in certain parts of the doors. Yeah, so this blue door, it really stands out very well from the warm orange-brown building exterior, adding a little bit of shadow in between each steps. Yeah, with leftover blue or purplish gray, shadows around. Yeah, painting these window and or door frames with leftover gray that I have in my palette. Yeah, yellow ochre, like warm yellow for the first layer of these branches. And putting on quick dashes of lime yellow mixed with a little bit of lemon yellow and tiny bit of orange. So it's getting closer to autumn right now, and these leaves are, I can feel that they contain a tiny bit of orange within the fresh yellow green. There's a tiny bit of orange mixed in, And also the color of the building exterior, kind of reflecting a bit of the color onto the leaves as well. Things in the world, they are always reflecting, influencing one another. Yeah, so for the next layer, we need a bit of contrast. Yeah, just like radiant green or any dark tone of green. Just kind of getting on there, really vibrant. Yeah, the colors of leaves are like looking so vibrant under the effect of sunshine. So different weathers, the colors of objects, especially trees, they can look so different. So that's how it makes drawing and painting so interesting. On different days, different weather, different seasons, the colors of things can be different. So when I'm drawing and painting in my art journal every day, I'm trying to see things in everyday life with fresh new eyes every day. So I never get bored. When I'm like sketching something, it's always like seeing them almost like for the first time. It's not that familiar, and every sketching is like a new adventure with challenges. So nothing is like 100% easy for me. Every sketch is actually has a bit of challenges for me, and that's the fun of why I'm continuing to do this. If it's like 100% easy, it's just like playing a game. If like a game that you play with like a 3-year-old, that'll be not so much fun to play for you, right? You want the game to be challenging. And this is the same idea for drawing and painting. Every experience, had a bit of challenges. Yeah, and just putting on this stronger tone dashes of vibrant browns, the juicy brown popping on top of the first layer to show the brick texture, and a little bit of dark tone of brown around the lower part to show the shadows around the door. Yeah, just keep everything pretty loose and impressionistic. Some little final polish here and there. And I think that's it. So here is the look of my finished art journal spread. So I stayed there for about almost 2 hours, eating and sketching. So thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. If you like it, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. I will see you very soon next time. Have a great day.